I'm one of the Health and Protection Advisors here at Drewberry, and I'm here to give you a bit of an insight into critical illness cover. So what is critical illness cover? Now this is essentially a lump sum cover designed to pay out on diagnosis of a serious illness covered under the policy. Now each insurer will be different and will cover different illnesses, but we'll go through that in a bit more detail with you. So what illnesses are covered by critical illness cover? Now, unfortunately, there's no simple answer because whilst every policy will cover some of the fundamentals, for example, heart attacks, cancer, stroke, the number of conditions and the way that these are classified differ wildly between insurers. Now, with some insurers, they can keep things really simple. Diagnosis of a cancer triggers a payout. With other insurers, there are different steps that you have to go through. Now, each insurer will classify these conditions differently and will cover a varying number of conditions. The best bit of advice I can give you is get in touch with an advisor because depending on your gender, age, whether you've got children, all of these factors can contribute into what actually is the best policy for you. So get in touch, let us understand your situation and we can help you understand the differences and why one insurer stands out best for you. So how do you know what's the best critical illness cover for you? Now this can be dependent on a variety of factors. It could be as simple as cost. You want to have as maximum amount of cover as you can for the lowest possible premium. Completely understand. But it does very much come down to some very core differences such as we've touched on, your gender, age, things like whether you've got children and any previous issues that you may have had. And what not a lot of people will always take into consideration is your family history. For example, if you've had a family history of things like cancer, diabetes, it might be worth looking at those policies that are a little bit more tailored to you. In addition, however, it can come down to the definitions of those illnesses. As I touched on, with some insurers, it can be quite convoluted to claim. With others, they can make it very simple. For example, you've been diagnosed with a condition, that triggers the payout. The best thing you can do is get in touch. We actually here at Drewberry use a sophisticated piece of software to compare the various different policies, and we can help illustrate why one policy is best for you, not just based on your budget, but based on those conditions that are covered. So get in touch and we'll give you some advice. So what are the best premiums in critical illness cover? Now again, this is very much subjective. You might simply want to have that cover in place for those core issues such as heart attack, cancer or stroke and want to take a relatively basic policy for the cheapest possible premium you can. For others, it's more important to make sure that the cover is more comprehensive, so a high number of conditions covered and a varying number of factors, such as whether you want to include children's cover. Do you want to combine it with life insurance? So get in touch with us because we can help you understand the nuances and differences between each insurer and how these can best benefit you. The premiums themselves are generally relatively similar across the board, but it very much depends on the insurer and what are the important factors for you. So get in touch and we can help offer some advice and tailor a policy specific to you and your family. So what are the best payout rates when it comes to critical illness cover? Now, whilst obviously each insurer does have to release their payout stats, these can be a little bit misleading. They're a great barometer of an average sort of payout rate from an insurer, but the way to think about it is they'll generally pay 100% of valid claims. Now, whilst you can use these as a guide, my advice is this: be as open and honest as you can during the application. As long as you've been truthful to the best of your ability, generally your claim's going to get paid. It is important to understand the differences between the question sets, and that's why if you do speak to an advisor, we'll help advise you on some of the questions that are going to come up so that you can be ready as prepared to make sure that you can answer those. In addition, if you do want to complete an application, here at Drewberry we'll ensure that you've got a specialist on hand to do so, to make sure that you've got some guidance and assistance to complete that application to the best of your ability. So what are the best additional services available as part of your critical illness cover? Now what you may not know is, as well as the actual cover itself, most providers these days will try and offer what they call a value added service and try and enhance the benefit that you're getting for paying that premium. Now some of the standout ones that really make a difference for a lot of my clients are things like remote GP appointments. We all know how difficult it is to get hold of your GP these days and get an appointment in, so people can find that's a really valuable benefit. But also things like hospitalisation benefits can make a massive difference and just add value to your premiums. In addition, with certain insurers you can find that they provide a suite of benefits to becoming more and more common these days to be able to be offered things like nutrition appointments, physiotherapy, and really maximise the benefit of the premium that you're paying. So get in touch with us and not only can we help find you the best cover, we can also match those benefits to you and your family and your specific circumstances and make sure that that policy is working as hard as possible for your money. So what's the best way to set up and apply for a policy? Now with critical illness cover, you've got a few different ways. You can of course go directly to the insurer. Now what you may not know, however, is that not every insurer offers every product to the market and to an individual consumer. So you can also go through your bank. Certain banks do offer products out there, but again, that'll generally be restricted to their own product rather than giving you some impartial advice. The best way to do it, in my opinion, come and speak to an independent advisor. Not only do we offer whole of market, so we can look at absolutely every insurer for you, we can help you understand why a policy is best for you. Premium, of course, is going to be important, but that isn't the be-all and end-all. A lot of the time, making a small adjustment in the premium can actually affect the number of conditions covered and the quality of those conditions. And that's a key fundamental point I want you to understand. The quality of the definitions with an insurer can make a huge difference between your claim being paid out and not. So generally, the best thing to do, speak to an advisor. You'll have access to the whole market and we can help you understand why a policy is best for you. So what is the best critical illness cover? Now in my opinion, this is subjective, and there's a couple of things which I'd point out which are really important to understand. Now a lot of insurers will come straight at you with the number of conditions that they cover. This, however, can be a little bit misleading because they can break down one condition into several different micro conditions, which can then also affect the amount that's paid out. So there are then other insurers that cover a lower number of conditions but make the actual definition very, very open. And in my opinion, those are the ones that generally stand out more because they make it that much easier for you to claim. The honest answer is come and speak to an advisor. We can help you understand not just the number of conditions that are covered, but the actual definitions of those and why that can make a difference when you claim. Get in touch and we'll help find the right policy for you. So overall, who's the best provider and what's the best policy? Now this will sound like a cliche, but it very much depends on the situation for you and your family or those that you're looking for cover for. Whilst there are benefits and drawbacks to each insurer, it very much depends on your situation. It also makes a difference in your pre-existing health conditions because each insurer's got a different philosophy on how they treat those. For example, the larger insurers such as Bupa and AXA, very forgiving for things like blood pressure as long as it's well controlled. If, for example, you've had previous bouts of cancer, Aviva and the Exeter can be great at looking at different forms of this. The best bit of advice I can give you is speak to an advisor, be open and honest about your situation, give us as much information as you possibly can, and we'll help you not just point out which is the right insurer, but help you understand why they're the best for you.